You know that feeling like you're just being crushed by the weight of everything you did yesterday and all the worries you have about tomorrow? Well, today, we're going to dive into Mark Batterson's Win the Day. It's this powerful framework for focusing on the one thing, the only thing you can actually control, right now, today.
This idea actually comes from Sir William Osler. This guy was one of the most famous doctors of his generation. They literally called him the father of modern medicine. And what's wild is that he knew, even way back then, this universal feeling of being completely and totally overwhelmed.
It sounds so familiar, right? We get so bogged down by our past mistakes, and at the same time, we're paralyzed by what's coming next. It's this feeling that's so common, it honestly makes you want to just quit before you even start.
But here's the thing. Osler didn't just point out the problem. He actually offered a brilliant solution, a way to manage all that overwhelming pressure.
And you have to understand all of his incredible accomplishments. I'm talking about organizing Johns Hopkins, writing the medical textbook of his time. It all started right here, with a simple philosophy he stumbled upon when he felt just as lost and uncertain as the rest of us.
So what did he call it? He called it living in day-tight compartments. And the idea, you're going to love this, was actually inspired by the cutting-edge technology of his day. These massive, modern ocean liners that could seal off parts of the ship with watertight doors in an emergency.
And he took that exact metaphor and applied it to life. Just imagine it. You can push a button and just hear those heavy iron doors slamming shut on the past. Push another and you seal off the future. And suddenly you're left with just one single task: win today.
Okay, so sealing off yesterday and tomorrow, that's only half the battle. Winning the day also depends on what we do inside that compartment. And it all starts with what's going on up here, with the stories you tell yourself. And get this, some studies estimate that a staggering 80% of our daily thoughts are negative. Now, if the battle for the day is really won in the mind, well, that's a pretty tough place to start from, isn't it? It's like our inner critic just grabs the microphone and becomes the narrator for our entire lives. And over time, those negative stories we keep telling ourselves, they have a funny way of becoming self-fulfilling prophecies.
But, okay, what happens when bad things are actually happening? When you're facing real, tough adversity. The key, it turns out, isn't to somehow avoid suffering. It's to completely reframe how you see it.
And to understand this, let's look at the unbelievable story of Joseph Merrick, who you might know as the Elephant Man. He was born with these severe physical deformities and had to endure just unimaginable cruelty and isolation. But then, a surgeon took him in, and in what was basically a carefully arranged experiment, he had a woman simply treat Merrick with kindness. She just entered his room, smiled, and shook his hand. And Merrick, he just broke down, sobbing. It was the very first time in his life a woman had ever done that. And that one simple act, it was a total turning point. Merrick began to see the entire world differently. He actually chose to find joy, to learn from all his pain. It's the perfect demonstration of how the obstacle you face can become the very source of your strength. Okay, so we've got the right mindset and a new perspective on adversity. But how do we actually translate that into daily achievement? Well, the secret to accomplishing big things is surprisingly kind of boring.
There was this sociologist, Daniel Chambliss, who studied Olympic swimmers to figure out what made them so elite. And what he found was this: excellence isn't about some magical quality they were born with. Nope. It's all about doing small, ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. Take a look at three-time gold medalist Rowdy Gaines. Over 8 years of training, he swam a grand total of 20,000 miles. To put that in perspective, that's almost enough to swim around the entire planet.
And this just illustrates the point so perfectly. All of that work, we're talking 8 years, 20,000 miles, it was all for a single race that lasted just 49 seconds. Excellence, really, is just the long-term result of that boring, mundane, daily discipline. So, living in day-tight compartments, flipping your inner script, embracing mundane excellence, I know it can still feel like a lot to take on. But the entire philosophy, the whole thing, can be boiled down to one powerful, super manageable question. Because think about it, almost anyone can do almost anything for just one day. The odds of you succeeding get way, way bigger as the time compartments get smaller. You don't have to worry about changing your whole life forever. You just have to win today. So, in the end, winning isn't really about some distant future victory. It's all about the small shifts we make right now.
The biggest breakthroughs in your life are often just one different decision, one consistent action, one day away. You don't need to conquer the world tomorrow. All you have to do is win today.